So what's the Grape Explorer talking about today? Well, we are going to be talking about our Grand Cru Classe series, and we've inserted another chateau that we want to bring to the attention of everyone here. So this is Chateau Larcis Ducasse, which is Grand Cru Classe. Very, very interesting property. So I had a chance to go visit in April to taste at Larcis Ducasse. Met the owner, but we want to show, this is in Sant Emilion over here, so it's right bank. We're talking right here, Sant Emilion, as you can see. And I want to bring you a little highlights. So this property is owned by Jacques Olivier Gratiot, who is the current managing director and owner of this property. Very, very interesting gentleman. We're talking in his 80s, so came out and greeted everybody. We had a chance to also meet the winemaker, which is Nicolas Thienpont. If that name sounds familiar, yes, this is Jan Thienpont's cousin to Alexander and Jacques in Pomerol. But Nicolas is quite a fascinating guy. He's also making wines at Paris-Macon as well. So we got a chance to taste side by side the Larcis Ducasse and the Paris-Macon, just two of his projects, just to kind of see the differences in these wines. But this is beautiful wine. I want to zero in a little bit more on this label because this is quite a very old property. But this is a traditional blend for them. It's 83% Merlot, 17% Cabernet Franc. And while we were there, Jacques again is a very, 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 very interesting guy. He came out and he wanted to show us a fossilized seashell that he said that they dug up at the property. And, he was very, very proud of this fossilized seashell. And interestingly enough, he said that it's 30 million years old was this fossilized seashell. So what he's telling me that at one time, that whole area was underwater because it was a tulip-shaped, seashell. But that is the soil composition that exists here. So we're talking limestone and clay. But within that limestone, if you dig down 20 or 30 feet, you're going to come across all these different shells and everything that enhance the wines. And of course, we're talking about 22 vintage. So when I'm tasting 22 Larcis Ducasse, and again, I love and I adore this property, but deep dark color, almost brooding from the glass, lots of staining fruit as you twirled it. We're talking really dense, rich fruit. And on the nose, you get tight grains, crushed raspberry fruit, quite fresh. That was the key of this vintage. Everybody was saying how fresh the wines were. When you're talking, it's not overripe and it doesn't have all those characteristics of high alcohol. On the palate, you get gorgeous richness in the weight up front, great silky tannins in the back, and very saline. Of course, I love salinity, saline minerality, and a long, chewy finish. So, this is an amazing wine property here. For a number of reasons. And again, I'm involved heavily in Bordeaux. So when we're looking at prices, this wine checks in retail for the 2022 at a little over $100 a bottle. You can have this wine for $120. Why? People would say, well, what's so interesting about that? This wine, I scored 98 plus points. 98 means that it has potential to hit that 100 plateau. And why is that important? Because my notes are Cheval Blanc, Ozon, Chateau Pavis. These are all wines that are $500, $600, $800 a bottle. This guy comes here and he's making great, great, great wines, and his wines are under the radar. So guess what? $120 a bottle for almost the same quality you would get at premier top quality wines. I passed on a lot of 2022s this year when the prices came out. I'm not going to name names, but some of them went up 30, 40%. I said, didn't make sense. These wines are too expensive. When I can buy Larcis Ducasse at this price, why would I want to buy those other wines? Yeah, they're illustrious names and they look good in your cellar and everything like that. But the bottom line is you got to taste these wines and then you'll probably come back and say the same thing as me. Again, this is David Kohl talking about Bordeaux, talking about Grand Cru Classe, and talking about wine.